Hi, this is Joe Hacker, Certified Athletic Trainer and Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist with NovaCare Rehabilitation. Today I'm going to be presenting my final project for the 2014 Northern Kentucky High School Sports Medicine Camp. This year it's going to be held at Simon Kenton High School, Independence, Kentucky, the school where I am the athletic trainer. This is going to be June 17th to the 19th, 2014. First, I would like to thank our sponsors, NovaCare Rehabilitation, Kramer Products, Chipotle, Kroger, Coca-Cola, and La Rosas. Without them, we would not be able to be doing this camp in the fashion that we are. This year we're actually going to be targeting incoming 9th to current 12th graders. That means anybody that's going to be a freshman, or even if they're going to be graduating, they can still participate in this. Looking for students from the greater Cincinnati region, and we already have students signed up from as far north as Loveland, Ohio, which from Simon Kenton High School, that's 45-minute to an hour drive, just one way. The biggest thing is these students have an interest in pursuing a career in sports medicine. They want to come. They want to have fun. They're going to learn a lot in 3 days. How much does it cost though? Only $75 for each student, but in order to get the target audience that we're looking for, of kids that are looking to go into medicine, I'm actually giving a $25 discount to students from the Kenton County Biomedical Sciences Academy or the Great Oaks Athletic Rehabilitation and Therapy programs over in Ohio. I want to kind of reward these students for already taking the initiative and working towards their goal and working towards medicine. So that's why this discount, I think, is going to be huge, because it's going to help bring in some more kids that are specific to the target audience that I'm looking for. This is actually used as a fundraiser. I originally did this back in 2012. But really didn't know what I was doing. We had pretty good success. I raised a whole total of $275 after expenses. That's one reason my sponsors this year are so huge, because they're allowing me to do this camp at a very, very minimal cost, as truly about 90% of everything is going to be donated. I work on an annual budget of about $3,500. I take care of 1,000 athletes a year. That is not a lot of money for a lot of athletes. Unfortunately, that's the nature of my position. I did have to get this approved by Simon Kenton High School and the Kenton County School Board, so everything has been to a T following regulations set forth by the county to be a fundraiser. What about the supplies? Like I said, my sponsors are huge. Kramer Products is my biggest sponsor so far. They're going to be donating all the taping supplies. That's a huge cost. For one case of tape, which is 32 rolls of tape, inch-and-a-half tape by 15 yards. And typically, to give you an idea, if you tape one ankle, that's about 3/4 of a roll. Well, just one case is $40. Well, we're anticipating up to 40 students, so that cost right there is gigantic. And the fact that Kramer's donating everything is saving so much money on our behalf. There are some first aid supplies, just gauze, bandages, gloves, and things like that. Not the best quality, but we're going to get just some generic brands. That's going to be provided by Henry Schein. That's the medical supply distribution company that we actually use and have a pretty good relationship with at the school. Now, the supplies purchased, unfortunately, we're not getting everything donated, but really there's not a lot that we have to buy. I want to actually purchase water bottles for everybody, because we're not going to allow outside food or drink to come in. Providing them these refillable Powerade bottles, much like you would see on the sidelines of the ball game, allows us to have a cooler of Powerade made and a cooler of ice water, and so anytime they can have their refreshments. Unfortunately, I am dealing with high school students, so that means dress code is a must. Most people who are doing this project for more professionals, well, I've got to remember these are high school students, and unless I specify this, they're going to do whatever they want as far as dress code goes. And it's summer. So shorts, khaki cargo basketball, absolutely no spandex. I want t-shirts, no spaghetti strap and things like that. I would prefer they wear gym shoes as we're going to be doing some physical activity, but sandals can be worn, but they need to bring their gym shoes. The rules, I've already put this in the syllabus, and that will go out to everybody that registers. If they want a copy of the Code of Conduct set forth by Kenton County Schools, they can actually access that via the PDF. I want to make sure that everybody has this information provided ahead of time. So, let's get started with day one. Registration is going to be at 8:30 in the morning. That's just coming in, checks made payable to Simon Kenton Sports Medicine. They can pay cash, it doesn't really matter. And then hopefully everybody is there by 9 o'clock in the morning and we get started. We're going to go ahead and start with just a little bit of breakfast. I'm hoping that with the donation from Kroger, which is just a gift card that I can use in the store, I'll be able to get orange juice, milk, either donuts or bagels, something like that, and get enough for the whole week. I want to make sure they're coming in. Big thing that we learned in the class, that the instructors and the students should have a breakfast that consists in glucose. So I want to make sure that they've got the energy for this course to start the day. So right off the top, hey, circadian rhythm as far as the teaching strategies. Wake them up. They're high school students in summer break. They're going to be tired. That's why we're going to go do the introductions and icebreakers. I'm going to get up there, introduce myself, and then I haven't decided on the icebreaker activity, but I do know that each student will go around and actually who they are, where they're from, what do they hope to do whenever they grow up. The learning theory on the far right hand side of the screen and is I'm doing socialization, so that fits under the social cognitive theory. And then the behaviors theory, I'm going to be arranging the environment to help elicit a desired response during the intro and icebreaker session. I want them interacting with each other, and so I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make sure they're sitting in the seats that I want them to, so that I can get the most interaction. I'm going to make sure that it's a comfortable room. I'm going to make sure that the environment is inviting to their participation. This is how the next few slides are actually going to be set up. So if you pay attention to the day and time, course instructor, activity description, objectives, so on and so forth, that's how we're going to go on. Moving on, 10 o'clock, we have the basics of sports medicine. I'm going to be presenting this, and really the main goal of this is having students, understand the different realms of sports medicine, and big thing for me, the differences between a personal trainer and an athletic trainer, because we are not the same type of person. A personal trainer doesn't even have to have a degree to do what they do. So that's a big thing that I want to try and debunk with these students right off the bat. And then second, injury nomenclature. What's the difference between a sprain and a strain? Little things like that. Really trying to introduce them to concepts that they're going to learn over the next 3 days and what they're going to be exposed to. Really going to focus on prime time 1, downtime, and to try and get some of this information to stick a little bit better. I know I'm going to lose them a little bit in the middle. There are going to be some dry times, but I'm going to try and keep them involved and throughout this process, really try and get a good read on the students, whether we need to take a quick break, stand up and stretch, whatever. I am flexible with the schedule. For the most part, there are a few things that they're kind of set where they need to be, so I can play with it as need be. I'm going to be showing a lot of videos, a lot of slides, things like that, just trying to keep them entertaining, keep things visually appealing. So multimedia learning is going to be huge, not only in this, but quite a few of the presentations that we do over the next 3 days of this camp. And then the cognitivist theory that, hey, the instructor is structuring this to enhance the learning and to make it effective and to make it efficient. That's going to be a huge thing that plays a common theme throughout this camp. 11 o'clock, unfortunately, a big part of the student's job, if they choose to use what they learned from this camp and go on and work with their school's athletic trainer, is hydration. Well, why is that important? I don't want them to think that they're just a water boy or water girl. I need them to understand, why are we doing this? That this is huge in preventing injury, huge in preventing heat illness. And so Diana Seifel is actually another athletic trainer from NovaCare. She graduated from Eastern Kentucky University, and as soon as she was in undergrad, she really took to heat illness, and that was her area of expertise that she chose to grow in. And really, she's the one that comes in and leads a lot of our in-services on this topic. So why not use somebody that truly knows the ins and outs of heat illness to come in and talk to the kids? Plus, she's great with kids. She's at Holmes High School over in Covington and deals with a population that low socioeconomical status, and has succeeded tremendously. And that's why I want to use her as a resource. They're going to learn about the heat illness, the signs, the symptoms, how to triage it, and the big thing, the prevention. Yes, it's hydrating them. Yes, it seems like they're a water boy, water girl, but they're not just that. It's a big part of preventing any further injury, or any injury just in general. A lot of guided practice, how to cool them down properly. Do I expect them to take a rectal temperature? No, that's not in their realm at this point. That's going to be for the certified athletic trainer or the medical professional on site. But I need them to understand why as we do that stuff. So we'll go ahead and go through a little bit more. Lunch. Each day we're actually going to do a lunch, and we're going to have a guest speaker. It's not just a speaker, because I want the students to have a break, but it's going to be, hey, we sit down and we talk. A lot of group discussion. I want to expose them to different people. Like the first day, the program director from Thomas More College, he's starting a new athletic training program. They're going to be able to ask him all sorts of questions as far as how to prepare for college. What do they do, and what do they need to do in order to apply for the programs and get in, and just steps that they need to go ahead and start taking. So I think this is going to be pretty beneficial. We did a little bit of this back in 2012, but I want to make sure that I'm exposing them to the right people this time, and so that's why we're doing that. So this is the point when students are actually going to learn how to do taping. The first things that we're going to need to do is how to tear tape. It's a very simple skill for people that have been doing it for a while, but if they've never done it, it's actually a little bit more difficult, because it's not just like normal, it's not like Scotch tape, masking tape, anything like that. It's actually fairly difficult to tear if you've never done it. I've got some assistants that are going to be helping me with this, local athletic trainers from around Northern Kentucky that want to come in and just help. And one of the big reasons is they're going to be sending some students to this camp. So they're going to learn the different parts of taping. They're also going to start getting into how to tape an ankle, but not just how to tape an ankle. It's going to be all the different steps. Really, anytime we're doing these exercises, we're going to be doing a lot of demonstration, a lot of guided practice, and that's why I'm making sure that I have a good ratio of student to instructors and assistants with when we're doing these. Want to make sure we're getting the most out of this and we're making it effective, and not having too much downtime, because we are going to be throwing a lot at them during these 3 days. On the first day, as we wrap up, I'm actually going to bring in Dr. Pete Ganchard. He's a sports psychologist that works not only with high school students and coaches, but also the Cincinnati Bengals and Cincinnati Bearcats. He's going to be a great person to go ahead and introduce to the kids and expose them to another realm of sports medicine they may not have considered in sports psychology. He uses a lot of videos. He'll interact a lot with the kids. Just seeing what he does regularly and listening to him speak to professionals, I know what he's bringing to the table, and that's why I think he's going to be a nice resource to have. And then before they leave, we're not just going to throw them out the door, but we're going to give them a little bit of homework, and that is every student's going to get a roll of tape. They're going to go home, they're going to tear it into 1-inch squares. They're going to bring it in a nice tape tower, and that just helps practice a little bit of the skills they learned that day, and then also preparing them for the days to come so they're not having as many issues tearing the tape as they may have had. And 8:30 the next morning, they come back for day 2. Same thing, I'm going to try and provide breakfast. I don't know that I have this for sure, but I'm really hoping to. Right off the bat, just to wake them up, we're looking at that circadian rhythm again. We're going to go right into taping. I'm going to review just a little bit of how to tape the ankle, and they're going to do it. I want them on their feet. I want to get the blood circulating. I want to wake them up. As I said the day before, they're tired. They've been on summer break for 2, maybe 3 weeks at this point. I need to get them back into the groove and ready to learn a little bit. Big part comes 9 o'clock in the morning. CPR first aid certification. Now, this isn't for the professional rescuer. This is very basic. As of right now, I'm waiting to hear back from 2 different instructors, and I know I have one for sure. I would prefer the other one, just knowing his personality and how he'd interact with the kids, but unfortunately, it looks like he may end up being out of town. We're gonna really try and break this up because, hey, this is gonna be 3 hours of a lot of information, but this is a very important part. So that's where we're going to utilize prime time, downtime, prime time 2, lots of demonstration, lots of guided practice, chunking, a lot of the concepts that we've learned throughout this course. And then with that, anytime we can use videos and slides and things like that to continue to enhance the learning opportunities, we're going to. I got to keep these kids interacting. I also need to keep them entertained, because if I lose them, well, it doesn't go so well after that. So I'm actually going to bring in 2 different individuals. Bringing in Mike Quinn. He's an athletic trainer that was in minor league baseball, got all the way up to the AAA level with what originally was the Montreal Expos organization, then switched over to the Washington Nationals. He's going to talk a little bit and be able to answer questions about working in professional sports, as well as other roles of athletic training, because now he actually moved to what we call the industrial athletic training setting, where he does a lot of things for local companies and factories on preventing injuries of their workers, and then also bringing in a physical therapist so that they can ask him questions as far as his role in sports medicine, what it takes to become a physical therapist, and so on and so forth. And like I said, this is going to be a guided question and answer session where I'm going to try and probe them a little bit, still give them a break, but just allow them to have conversation. Not they're getting lectured to. I want them to just sit and talk and have a good time, and we'll joke around when we need to, and just keep them going like that. So we practiced a lot of the taping stuff day 1. Well, this is when we're going to start getting into some a little bit more advanced techniques, and that's one reason that the homework assignment was so important, because I need them ready to be able to do this. You can tape almost every joint on the body that you need to help prevent injury, as well as to help prevent any further injury. This is a big skill that the kids want to learn, and that's been expressed to me on multiple occasions. So that's why we're going to do this. I've got quite a few of the techniques listed, but if we can't get through all of them, I'm really going to try and start with the most important ones. And hey, if they're going well and we're able to progress, we can get to some of the absolute advanced ones. So I'm going to try and be as flexible as I can with this. We're going to utilize multiple instructors with this. I'm still leading it, but we're going to bring in, like we did on day 1, some of the other athletic trainers to help maybe have a 4-to-1 or 4-student-to-1 instructor ratio, maybe a 5-to-1. I just want to try and keep it in small groups. That way we can get the most out of this and nobody's getting lost in the shuffle. So finishing day 2, I'm actually bringing in the athletic training coordinator for Novica Rehabilitation for the greater Cincinnati region. He's going to talk to the kids about what to do in preparing to get a job in sports medicine, what are things that they can do to help get their resume looking a little bit better. Not only just the courses that they take in school, but the educational opportunities clinical assignments, internships, what look better than others, things like that, because I want them to be prepared when they get out in the real world. Unfortunately, not everybody gets this opportunity, and I want to afford this opportunity to the students to learn what they need to do to be highly marketable. Try and really open this up a lot to some group discussion so they can ask any questions they've got. Here's a little room for flexibility. If it goes long, we don't have to necessarily do the last task or the last exercise on the second day. We can always push that to day 2 or day 3, and that's going to be how to pack a training kit. It seems silly, but it's like trying to pack for vacation and you have way too many clothes and you're going for a long time and your flight will only let you have so much. Well, it's that same thing. I want to teach them how to do it and do it right, keep it organized. Lots of guided practice with us. Practice is a group activity actually, where they can kind of discuss the ways that they see this going the best. And then go ahead, as we're wrapping up, do a little recall, just a little quiz on them on things that they've learned, especially on the first aid and CPR skills, just to reinforce some of the things they learned that day. No true homework assignment on the second day. And finally, day 3. If their brains aren't fried by now, they will be a little bit during the first session, and then we're going to have a whole lot of fun the second session of the third day. As before, circadian rhythm. Wake them up, feed them breakfast, get them moving, get the blood flow going. Bringing in an awesome guest speaker, Jessica Mann. She used to be with Children's Hospital. She does a lot of concussion education type deals, kind of like I do. But one of her things that she is an expert in is concussion evaluation, and she works with Dr. John Devine, formerly of Children's Hospital, now the head team physician for the University of Cincinnati. And I wanted to talk about not only concussions, but also the concussion rehabilitation program over at UC. Some pretty neat things that not everybody knows about that I want some of the kids to know about. But also I want to know the dangers and risk, or just the risk in general with concussions, as they're going to be another set of eyes and ears for an athletic trainer out there if they're going to go to their home school and do this as an athletic training student. So the importance of recognizing some of these signs and symptoms to help get the athletic trainer to then perform the full evaluation if we need to. So Jess is actually she's actually going to stay for the 11 o'clock session where she's going to team up with Katie Foltz. Katie was an athletic trainer, now physician assistant, and they're going to talk together about the different roles that athletic trainers can do in the clinical setting, how they work in the physician's office, whether being a physician extender like Jessica is, or the role of the physician assistant, working with orthopedic and performing surgery and things like that. That's going to be right after we actually use a little downtime but keep them entertained. I'm going to be showing a lot of pretty cool videos on mechanisms of injuries, athletes getting hurt, the oohs and the ahs and the grosses, but I want to expose them to some of this so they know the things they're starting to look for. I want it to kind of be fun and open up some discussion. Do I expect them to get a ton out of this? No, but it just allows me to utilize Primetime 1, Primetime 2 a little bit better, as those are the two main topics that I would rather get out of everything during this period. Lunch third day, I have Jared Lorenzen, former NFL quarterback, won a Super Bowl ring with the New York Giants, used to be with the Kentucky Wildcats, set quite a few records there as the quarterback. They refer to him as the hefty lefty because he's about 300 pounds playing quarterback. He's going to come in and just talk to the kids about the role of sports medicine professionals on athletes and how they've helped him stay on the field throughout his professional career. Like Dr. Ganchert and some of the others, he works a lot with kids. He actually helped coach football a little bit at Highlands High School over in Fort Thomas, but he's great with that, with the youth, and that's one reason I'm going to utilize him a little bit. Feed them lunch each day. All the lunches are provided. I don't have to worry about kids going anywhere. They're getting La Rosa's, they're getting Chipotle, and that's some of the sponsorship things that I talked about earlier. Now we we get to the really fun stuff. For about the first hour or so on the afternoon of day 3, the kids are going to work on some guided practice type stuff. Anything they're still having difficulties on, we're going to help them, myself and some of the other instructors that I'll still have around, because once we finish this first hour, we're going to go straight into competitions. Who can tape the best, who can tape the fastest, who can, all the different fun things that we've done, the skills that we've learned, we're putting into practice. They're using recall, and we're just going to have fun with it. Then there's a sports medicine Jeopardy game that I've been working on. I actually put a whole lot of work into. It's been a lot harder than I really anticipated, but it's going to be fun. And then the people that win, hey, we're going to have prizes set aside for them. We're going to have some pretty cool stuff. They're not winning big screen TVs or anything that nice, but through some of their donations, and they're going to get gift cards and little things like that. But I do want to show a little demonstration of the Jeopardy. So this is the 2014 Sports Medicine Camp edition of Jeopardy! Click on that. This type of wrap is used to decrease swelling and provide stability or immobilization. Oh, somebody buzzes in. What is a compression wrap? Absolutely. And that wraps up the 3-day, highly intensive educational 2014 high school sports medicine camp at Simon Kenton High School. I do expect there to be a glitch every now and again. I do think I learned a lot from the first time I did this in 2012. I was not as prepared as I am now. I did not have the sponsorships I have now, and overall, I really think this is going to be much more successful. I would like to thank my wife, because she's put up with a lot as far as me maybe not being as helpful at home as I would like to be, because I'm putting in a lot of work at work, but also with this program. I've only got 2 classes left, and then my final master's research project, and then graduation. I actually can't believe it's going to happen. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I have to thank her for putting up with me.